What's up guys, it's Average Ol, making average content for the average viewer, and today I've actually got a bit of an interesting video from you. I want to talk about another way that I think you'll be able to get a lot more casual lobbies and beat the Cold War SBMM once and for all. Now, a few things to get out of the way first. This is not a way to get into insured bot lobbies every single game, and to be honest, I don't think that that would actually be fun, but instead, this is going to give you a handful more of the easier lobbies that you might have already experienced in your time playing Call of Duty. Now surprisingly, this data comes from a YouTuber who is not necessarily known for his data collection and analytics. He is known for gameplay and high quality, good, wholesome content, and that is of course Jack Frag, so all credit has to go to him for this video. He's done an amazing job with this, and although there was some questionable decisions, like making really detailed analytics and statistics in a spreadsheet on Excel, and then deciding to draw a graph in Photoshop like a 3-year-old with a crayon, apart from that, he's done an amazing job of collecting some data on how skill-based matchmaking works in Warzone, and I think that we can translate this into Black Ops Cold War. So, first of all, he's been using a website called SBMMWarzone.com, and what this does is basically let you look through all the matches that you've had in the last week or so, or perhaps longer, I'm not too sure, and it ranks those lobbies from Bronze 5 to Diamond 1, basically ranking them on the skill level of the other people within that lobby. Now, this is interesting for two things. For one, if you get into a lobby, you'll be able to look at this on this website and be able to see how much competition you're up against. Now, if you're going for high kills and maybe even a record, not naming any names, you will be able to back out of this lobby and hope for an easier one. But it also gives him some very interesting thoughts about time of day and when you'll be able to get easier lobbies. For example, in this graph, when he played at 8 AM UK time, when there are less people online and there are less people playing Warzone, then it meant that he got lots more bronze lobbies, right? And as he waited throughout the day and played more games at different times, the difficulty of his lobbies got higher and higher until in this graph he shows that between 6 PM and 10 PM UK time was the time that he was getting the absolute sweatiest of lobbies. Now, if you think about it, this does make sense because it means that during those peak hours, most people are going to be online playing, and it is during these peak hours that most of us lot, including myself, are going to be playing. This means that we're always going to be in this so-called sweat zone, the time where most players are online and the time where it's harder to find a more casual lobby because it is the time where all the sweats are on, meaning that it's easier for the game to put you in a match with higher skilled players because there's a bigger pool of them. And you can see it in the data that he's used. I know this is for Warzone, but you've got to think that perhaps the same will apply for Black Ops Cold War or even Modern Warfare's multiplayer. I think that this is actually a genuine way that we can try and manipulate the skill-based matchmaking system without having to face people who have genuine disabilities and just get into a lot more casual games, but more of a mix as well, because you'll see even at 8 AM in the morning, he does have some higher skilled lobbies, meaning that it's going to feel a lot more like old school COD used to because it will be a lot more variety and there'll be a bigger mix of people that you're facing. So he goes on to say that his idea was to use a VPN to spoof his IP address to another region. Now, this is good for two reasons. For example, if it gets to 6 o'clock here, you can spoof your IP address to be in New York time, which is 5 hours earlier, thus giving you slightly easier lobbies, because in New York at that time of day, not as many of the sweats will be on, therefore making it harder for the skill-based matchmaking to put you in a lobby with people of your own skill level. Now, if you couple that with spoofing your IP address to somewhere that is either earlier or much later in time, but also has a lower population of gamers to begin with, then you could be onto a real winner. For example, in the UK here, if I was to spoof my IP address using a VPN to somewhere like Egypt, which geographically probably isn't even as far as, say, America, then there are less people there that actually play Call of Duty in the first place, right? The population density of the UK and the surrounding areas in Europe is going to be a lot higher than the population density in Egypt. Couple that with the fact that gaming perhaps isn't actually as big a deal over there, not as many people are into it, then it means they're going to be even less sweaty tryhards. So if I spoof my IP address to Egypt when it gets to sweat o'clock over here, then it will be further on in the night there. Couple that with the fact that the population is lower to begin with in terms of gamers, and I could be onto some real easy lobbies albeit with a little bit more ping. Now, for those of you who are on console, I'm pretty sure that this is what people have been talking about with the netdoomer. The netdoomer allows you to search for servers in a place that is not closest to you, therefore giving you the same result of this. Now, I know when a lot of people have discussed this in the past, they've sort of said, well, why the hell would that even make a difference? But when you take into account the time of day difference, that is the biggest thing, I think. I know that the population is smaller in terms of gamers over there, but I really think that the biggest thing here is the time of day. If you think back to just after Christmas, when I made a video saying that I thought skill-based matchmaking is gone, then this starts to really make sense. Usually I work until about 5 o'clock every day. I come home, I have a shower, I have dinner, and then I might sit down to play some Call of Duty around 6:30, 7 o'clock, bang in the middle of the sweat zone. Now, a couple days after Christmas, I came on Call of Duty because I heard that skill-based matchmaking had been turned down, and I hopped on around 8 AM, 2 days after Christmas. This means that there's not going to be as many people playing during those hours. I swear to God, I was not lying about me thinking that skill-based matchmaking had been toned down. But when I take a step back and I actually think about what was going on, it must be because it was earlier in the day for one. Not only that, but a lot of the sweats probably had stayed up all night and were still asleep that early, or they were still seeing family and friends because it was Christmas. This leads me to believe that this is a genuine, real way that we can be able to get some easier skill-based matchmaking lobbies. Now, I haven't actually got a VPN installed on my computer at the moment. I know, it's a cardinal sin, but to be honest, I haven't been on the hub much recently anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install NordVPN and I'm going to do some tests of my own and see if I can find the aforementioned easier lobbies and see if it's going to make my time in this game a lot more enjoyable. Now, at the beginning of the video, Jack Frags also mentioned something that I found particularly interesting. He says that he doesn't know if this is the be-all and end-all of bypassing skill-based matchmaking within Warzone. If you remember back to about a week ago, there was a lot of controversy floating around on Twitter and Reddit regarding an exploit. Drifter covered it in a video and a lot of other content creators have. Modern Warzone on Twitter said he knew all about this thing, but he was not going to expose it because he didn't want to ruin the game, and Drifter himself completely sold out to Activision and told them about the exploit rather than telling the community. Now, this leads me to believe that there's something more going on than just this VPN or netdoomer spoofing of your IP address. This leads me to believe that there's something else you can do that is going to give you even easier lobbies. I think this is going to be the starting point for any other exploit that is going to lower your skill-based matchmaking. Now, the implications of this in the wider Call of Duty community can be astronomical. There are Warzone tournaments going on that are worth £200,000 even more, and if people are going into these kill races and they're spoofing their IP address and they're having an unfair advantage, well, they could really genuinely be cheating. They could be cheating people out of money, and that's fucking bullshit, to be honest. Now, the thing is, they can't exactly do just a custom match with only the creators competing because everyone will start playing more passively. There's no way that you can have a competitive game of Warzone where everyone's trying to win for some money and it be high action and fun to watch. That's why when you watch the CDL, they all go like 1 for 1 or just positive, and you start to think, oh god, these guys are pros. Well, that's because they're all playing other pros, and if you put all of these big streamers into a lobby with other big streamers, then the same result is going to happen. This means that the only option that they have is to do these competitions where they go into pubs and they do kill races. But if this thing's going on and there's no way that anyone can monitor this and it's technically not even cheating, then how are they even going to be able to compete like this without everyone just calling it a load of bullshit? There's going to be no record set without people calling bullshit because of this. There's going to be nothing that people can do. You've already seen it at the moment, where if you drop a double nuke or a triple nuke in Cold War, then everyone will slam you for being a reverse booster or a cheater. It is so rife in the community, and the only way out of it that I can see is for Activision to finally remove skill-based matchmaking. Cold War is failing. Even Warzone, a massively popular game, has had a bumpy ride the past couple of months with bugs and issues and skill-based matchmaking at the height of conversation. With these exploits coming out of the woodwork now, it's only a matter of time before people start talking about skill-based matchmaking. Not just us commentators, not just the so-called vocal minority, but sooner or later, every single person who plays Call of Duty in any capacity will be talking about skill-based matchmaking, and I can't help but think that's a good thing. So, I really urge you guys to try these methods out. Try your hardest to get into these lower skilled lobbies and we'll finally be able to see some stuff done. If enough of us get into these earlier foreign lobbies in faraway countries, then the local lobbies are going to be very unpopulated, which means that the game is going to look like it's failing even more, therefore making less people spend money on the game and forcing Activision's hand. But anyway, I'm going to do some more testing of this of my own, but that's all I wanted to say on this topic today. Now, for those of you who have watched my videos for a while, you'll know that I love to see you stick around until the end. So if you're still here, I'd like you to let me know by answering this question down in the comments. What do you think is the final piece of the puzzle to all of this? What do you think is the exploit that people are using to really fuck with the skill-based matchmaking system? Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm Average Joel. Peace.